Welcome to another conversation on Blesstingz.com.
All right, thanks for sitting down with us here at Blesstingz, man. Let's get started with your artist name and a little bit about your background.
Okay, my name's Kubota. Real name's Ricky Kubota. It's just my last name. I'm a LA artist. I make like hip hop and indie pop fusion kind of music. And yeah, just uh, just kind of started making music or taking it a little more seriously at in the middle of 2020 when the pandemic hit. And yeah, things been going pretty well. So as always, thanks for reaching out and really appreciate this.
Yeah, no problem, man. Do you feel like growing up in LA really influences the style of music you make?
Um, I'm not really sure. I think it's pretty congested, so it definitely made me want to differentiate myself from kind of the other artists that I grew up around, or my friends. I have a lot of friends that are artists, and
Yeah,
a lot of them, uh, some of them had like similar sounds and stuff, and I definitely wanted to branch away from that. Um, and that's not saying that they don't have their own style and stuff. They have great music, but I definitely
right.
wanted to make something that's very me and kind of away from what everyone else was doing. So in that sense, yeah. But I also grew up with a metal background. I was in a metal band, so that has to do some influence to my music as well.
Yeah, for sure. So I have to ask you, man, what's some of your favorite metal bands growing up?
Shit. I mean, my first concert was Metallica.
Nice.
And Lamb of God was always great. And then I got into like the more death metal, deathcore stuff, and I think All Shall Perish was always like my number one on that list.
Nice.
Um, yeah, it's been a while. I gotta refresh my mind, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Man, I always love Bring Me the Horizon. I still love them. I like how they've progressed over the years. A lot of people
yeah,
don't like that.
mhm,
They're like, oh, they don't sound like they used to, but I like how different every album is. I think
yeah,
that
definitely.
shows like how good of musicians they actually are. And then the band, I think they're from Riverside out there close by you is Suicide Silence.
Dude, I saw them right when they still had the original singer before he
Yeah,
died.
right.
Yeah, and then actually All Shall Perish, the lead from All Shall Perish, became their singer. So yeah,
Right.
I fucked with Suicide Silence also.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite bands always.
Oh, nice, nice, dude.
Hell yeah, man. Do you who do you feel like some of your biggest influences are like nowadays?
Currently, I gotta give it to Coda the Friend for sure.
Yeah.
Kind of that alternative hip hop, uh, and like kind of feel good shit and just chill stuff. Um, but I grew up listening. I grew up kind of shaping my sound around atmosphere and like Common Market and Blue Scholars stuff. So over time it kind of just morphed into what it is today, um, and it was all kind of unintentional. But right now, yeah, if I want to go for a certain direction, I definitely look at Code of the Friend the most.
Nice. And what are some of your goals for your music career? Where do you see yourself like, oh, I made it. This is like the peak of where I was trying to be.
I mean, if I could just fill up like a small venue, that's that's number one goal for me right now. And I think at that point, if I could like sell out shows even across like California or something, then I'll be like, you know what, I did. I think I think it's going well,
Yeah.
um, and if it leads to something bigger, then awesome. But my expectations, I'm trying to keep it low. Like my goals reachable at the moment. So I
Yeah.
mean, that'd be awesome. Yeah, if I could just get people to buy tickets and come meet me in person, sell out like a small venue. That would be awesome.
Oh yeah, man. It's good to like big dreamers, they a lot of times like do some of the craziest best stuff, but for me personally, I like to set my goals like, a little bit at a time. We all have like the big far-fetched dream. But I think
Yeah,
it's good to keep it right there in front of you so you can do a little bit at a time, keep getting bigger, bigger, bigger,
yeah,
and
yeah,
not get
yeah,
too carried away.
yeah.
So that's
I'm when it comes to myself, I get kind of pessimistic. Um, so like those big, when I do think about those big dreams, I'm like, ah, there's no way I'm gonna reach with my style of music. There's no way. So it's like the small goals are really where I'm pinpointing my focus towards, and it's worked out so far. So yeah.
nice, man. And could you explain for us a little bit your process, like how you get started in making a track, some of your favorite plugins, and just your process in general?
Yeah. So normally I'll just kind of fiddle around on the guitar. Um, because I make all my own beats and instrumentals. I'm not pushing out beats like left and right like I used to when I was only focusing on producing. Now I'm very like more focused on trying to complete a whole song, and that in itself is difficult.
Right.
So like I'll have a random spark of inspiration, and I'll be able to put down, you know, everything that I want, and then hopefully I can move on to lyrics after that. But at any point it kind of just stops. But like generally, I'll make the beat, or I'll make the melody that's going on in my head, or the chord progression that's going on in my head, and then I'll um, build it, vertically or horizontally. So it's, I got the intro, verse, chorus, bridge, whatever.
Right.
And then I'll like, take some time away from it and work on something else, come back to it, and then work on it vertically. So I put in all the fills, like fill up the space with instruments and stuff, and then I'll write lyrics on it if I do like it.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, and generally when it comes to mixing, I use wave plugins. Um,
Yeah, they're great, man.
yeah, and I got just shitty equipment, and they do just fine. They they're amazing.
Heck yeah, man. Do you ever find yourself, like writing lyrics first and having the song idea like to go with the lyrics?
That's happened a couple times, but normally it'll be writing the lyrics on top of the beats, because like I'm, first and foremost, like I started as a producer,
Right.
making beats and stuff. Like the reason why I became a rapper is because I sucked and no one wanted to rap on my beats because they were trash. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just do it. And then over time, I kind of just started to do it more and more. And so you know, like I can't freestyle, I can't like come, off the dome, spit some bars and shit.
Yeah.
So like lyrics are a little more challenging for me.
Mm.
But there has been a couple of times where I'll have like a small, short, like little 8 bar verse or something in my head. I'll write it down and build the beat around that, but very rarely. Yeah.
Nice, man. And is there any specific project you have out already that means a lot to you? Like your favorite song that you've worked on so far?
Um, I mean, one of my most popular songs is called "You and Me," which dropped earlier this year. Which I think, which is probably my favorite, just because it branches off so far from my previous releases. It kind of starts off like indie pop kind of stuff, and I'm actually singing, and then it drops into like a heavy bass rap thing halfway through.
Mm.
And I think that's probably the most unique thing I've made so far,
Yeah.
and I'm generally trying to keep it around that style for my future releases, or at like some level of that kind of uniqueness, I guess. But yeah, I gotta give it up for that. But yeah.
Yeah, that was the first song I heard of yours. That's like that song is the reason that I like wanted to hit you up.
Oh, right on. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. And especially if that's like the style that you want to keep pursuing, I think you'll have some success with that. It's a little bit different from a lot of stuff, but enough similar that you don't feel like I could see people, no matter what they like, not feeling uncomfortable. Like you show somebody a
Yeah.
metal song or like a dubstep song, and it can make them feel uncomfortable if they're not into that
Exactly.
style, you know. Um,
Hmm.
the You and Me has a nice like flow where I feel like a wide variety of people could like it, you know.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I think I have always wanted to be like hip hop. Like when I first started making, like I've been making beats and shit and rapping for like 10 years now, and it hasn't been until like recently that I'm like, all right, maybe I shouldn't try to be hip hop because that's just, or like maybe I shouldn't stick with the conventional hip hop style and just
Yeah.
do me, and then that's way more comfortable. And that style kind of is, I mean, I guess it's more pop, where it's people who are into more like acoustic stuff and indie pop and rock and hip hop can all kind of converge into to that song and still appreciate it or find some appreciation in it. Um,
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure, man. I definitely think you're onto something, like
thank you.
for sure. And do you have any projects coming out here soon? When when some of your release dates you got coming up?
So they're pretty tentative right now. Tentative. I don't know. But I do have a single coming out. We're planning for an October release. I
Mm,
just dropped a new one called Sunday Vibes earlier in August.
nice.
So we're right in between kind of releases, but I am planning on ending the year in December with an EP. Um, just a collection of the songs I've released with 3 new songs. So yeah, that's something to look forward to.
Hell yeah, man. Do you have any videos that you're working on to go along with that stuff?
Yeah, I try to make a music video or at least a lyric video for every song. Um, but yeah, yeah. So we do have something planned. We just haven't gotten in motion with any of the production yet.
Yeah. Do you do you ever like have like a visual in mind when you're writing the music, when you're making it? I know that sometimes that happens to me, but most of the time I couldn't afford to make the crazy visual that's in my head.
Right. Yeah. No, I feel that. Not really. I
Mm,
think I get. I know what I want to do with it after I hear the full song. And I'm like, I could see, you know, me being in the backyard being like an appropriate setting for this, or like me in the park at it being an appropriate setting for this. But yeah, like it's usually after I make the song. So
okay, cool, man. We definitely look forward to it. I'm excited to hear the EP. Like I
thank
said,
you.
I really liked the few songs that I listened to, and especially You and Me. I checked out Sunday Vibes after I reached out to you, and I really liked that song as well.
Thank
So
you. Thank
I'm
you.
excited. I'm excited to see what else you got for us, man. Um, and just a little transition here. You know, I always try to think about whenever things aren't really going my way, like, well, what do I have instead of what I don't have? So I'd like to ask you, what in your life are you most grateful for?
I'm definitely most grateful for like the people that surround me. So my parents and my friends.
Mm,
It's something you know you, it's something that I'm definitely taking for granted. Like my parents support me, or they understand my vision for my music, and they fully support me for my music. I'm also working as well,
yeah,
so I'm not just focusing on music, but my parents do believe in me, and my friends do also. Like they'll share my music, they listen to my music, so I'm really grateful for that. That they fuck with my shit because
yeah,
I used to try to force it onto people like, yo, like, check out my music. And it was trash. And of course, they're not going to support it because it's garbage.
right.
But, now I think I've gotten to a point where my music is viable for, the people around me to appreciate it and to support it. Um, so, yeah.
Nice, man. And one last question for you, for anybody watching, what's one piece of advice you would give to the listeners?
Um, One piece of his advice would just be to keep going. Um, Things might look difficult when you first start off, but everything should be seen as baby steps. You know, like every little thing you do towards your dream is like a lesson to be learned, and it's okay if you fail, but just keep going. You know, like I feel like at this point, if I stop now, then it would have been a waste of my whole life.
Yeah,
So
I can feel that.
you know, just keep going. You know, if you got something, a goal or a dream or something. Not that I've reached it yet, but that's one advice I would give.
Well, you got to keep going, right?
Yeah, exactly. I got to take my own advice. So yeah.
There you go, man. Well, thanks for sitting down with us, man. I really appreciate it. And you know, if just send over the links of whatever you want me to promote along with the video, which songs you want me to put under it, and I'll get
Okay.
the article written up and send it over your way. Is there anything you want to plug, like a website or whatever? Let
Sure.
people.
Yeah. You could always check me out at KubotaMusic.com. I have all my content stuff there. So like music, new releases, shows, YouTube videos, and my music videos. And also follow me on Instagram at Kubota Music.
Oh yeah, man. Well, once again, we appreciate you and look forward to the EP, bro.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, take care.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace.